So, what could a Brooklyn Mafia capo and some teenage coder possibly have in common? I mean, on the surface, absolutely nothing. One deals in respect and fear, the other in pure code. But what if I told you they're architects of the exact same empire, just using different tools? Let's dive into this tale of two worlds, where you'll see the rules of power are pretty much universal.
Think about the old empire. It was built with stuff you could touch, right? Guns for enforcement, shiny Cadillacs to show off you'd made it, and respect as the ultimate currency. Now the new empire, it's built on things that are basically invisible. Lines of code that become weapons, Bitcoin that acts like untraceable cash, and this incredibly powerful shield of total anonymity. The tools couldn't be more different, but the ambition, it's exactly the same. Build a kingdom outside the law.
All right, every story's got a beginning. And for our kingpins, it all starts with being invisible, kind of looking in from the outside. The first real step is just making that decision to get involved. For our digital outlaw, the journey kicks off with a whisper. Picture this. It's a rainy Tuesday, you're bored out of your mind scrolling through the same 3 apps you've already checked 100 times. You download a special browser called Tor, which is kind of like a digital mask, and suddenly your signal is bouncing from France to Brazil to Japan. You're a ghost. You've just made yourself invisible online, and let me tell you, that is the first real taste of power. Now, in the old world, becoming invisible works a little differently. You start as a hang-around. Your job? Fetch coffee, wash the boss's Cadillac, and, most importantly, keep your mouth shut around the guys with the gold chains. You're unpaid, you're unseen, and you're constantly being tested. Are you disciplined? Can you be trusted? It's the same goal as our coder, just achieved with physical silence instead of digital absence.
But hey, being invisible doesn't pay the bills. If you want a real seat at the table, you have to prove you can earn. So it's time for that first score.
For the coder, that first score feels, well, clean, almost sterile. You write a little bot, find some forgotten source code on a server somewhere, and list it for $200 in Bitcoin. When that sale notification hits your screen, it's a rush. You haven't hurt anyone, you haven't broken a window, you've basically just created value out of thin air. And that feeling of power, it's dangerously addictive.
Yeah, in the physical world, there's no such thing as a clean first score. Not even close. As an associate, you're the one getting your hands dirty. You're hijacking trucks, running illegal betting rings, maybe even breaking a few kneecaps. There's no hiding behind a screen. The risk is real, it can get violent, and it's definitely personal. And as soon as you start earning, you learn the fundamental law of organized crime. Doesn't matter if it's digital or physical, the kick-up system. You never get to keep everything you make. A piece of every single score has to travel up the ladder to the person who gave you the shot.
Just take a look at this. It's the same exact criminal tax, just with a different name. In the Mafia, a soldier might have to kick up 30% of his earnings to his capo. On a dark web market, the site's admin just automatically takes a 10% fee from every single transaction. It's the same system, just automated and given a slick, modern rebrand.
So you've proven you can earn, but you're still just working for somebody else. The next step? Building your own empire. And in a world filled with criminals, you quickly learn the most valuable currency isn't money, it's trust.
Our coder gets ambitious. He starts thinking, why am I paying a 10% fee when I could be the one collecting it? So he decides to build his own marketplace, calls it the Vault. He even makes up a rule for himself. No violence, only digital goods, kind of a way to tell himself he's one of the good criminals. This is that moment he decides he doesn't want to be a player anymore. He wants to own the whole casino.
But there's a problem. His new marketplace is a total ghost town. So how do you build trust when nobody knows who you are? You fake it. And this is brilliant. He creates 20 fake accounts and literally has them talk to each other on forums, all praising the Vault. One fake user says, "Wow, so fast." Another one types, "Transaction confirmed instantly." He literally manufactures a reputation out of thin air until real users start to believe the hype. And you know what? It works. Big time. We're talking $20,000 a month from a marketplace he built from scratch in his bedroom. And the wildest part? He's only 17 years old. The success is just staggering. And so is the new problem it creates. How on earth do you hide that much cash? As the empire grows, you have to bring people into your inner circle. In the Mafia, this is a sacred physical ceremony. To become a made man, there's a vow of loyalty, a drop of your blood on a saint's picture. It's a bond for life. In the digital crew, the initiation is, well, sterile and silent. It's the simple transfer of an admin key. Click, you're in. You're now inside the circle of trust, even though you've never met these people and you don't even know their real names.
But the view from the top isn't exactly what you'd think. Power comes with a heavy price. The higher you climb, the more you have to hide. This is the real weight of the crown.
A mafia boss survives by creating layers of insulation. He's got an underboss, capos, messengers. These aren't just employees, they are human shields. An order gets whispered, and 3 days later, a problem just disappears. The boss himself? He never touches a gun, never touches a dirty dollar bill. He's a ghost in his own organization.
Our kingpin does the exact same thing, but with technology. Laptop 1 is for watching movies and ordering pizza, laptop 2 is for work, and it's set up to completely self-destruct if the wrong password is typed twice. And then there's laptop 3, the panic device, hidden away in a bathroom vent for the day everything inevitably goes wrong. It's the same principle of insulation, just with hard drives instead of underbosses.
And that pressure, it takes a serious psychological toll. I mean, this quote says it all. You're 19, but you feel 40. Paranoia just becomes your constant companion. Every slow-moving car could be the FBI. The fear of getting caught, it ages you way faster than time ever could. But here's the thing. There's no 401k for crime lords. Every king knows his reign has to end. The only real question is how. It's time to try and cash out.
The kingpin's plan, on paper, it seems flawless. Sell the entire operation, the vault, for $10 million in untraceable Bitcoin. Transfer the keys to the new owner, wipe all the drives, and catch a one-way flight to somewhere far, far away, like New Zealand. It's the perfect digital escape plan.
Except it isn't. Just as he's getting ready to disappear, the FBI is at his door. And the final crushing blow? His most trusted employees, the ones he only knew by their code names, Cypher and Red Dragon, yeah, they were undercover federal agents the whole time. The trust he manufactured was a lie, and the very people he used for insulation were the ones who brought the walls crashing down. But wait, what if this entire story, the boredom, the first score, the empire, the betrayal, what if none of it was actually real? What if the whole thing was just an incredibly elaborate game, designed to find an answer to a single, simple question?
And here it is, the final twist. He's not in an interrogation room. He pulls off a VR headset. The entire rise and fall of his digital empire, from that rainy Tuesday to the FBI raid, was a simulation. An unbelievably realistic ethics test cooked up by the Cyber Defense Agency to see what he would do with absolute power and anonymity. And the result? Failure. The reason he failed is summarized in this final, chilling judgment from his evaluators. He only did the right thing when he had no other choice. That isn't integrity, that's just survival. The simulation was never about testing his skills as a hacker. It was about testing his character. And that shows that whether you're a mafia capo or a teenage coder, the real test isn't about how you gain power, but what you do with it. Which leaves us with a question we all have to face. When nobody is watching, who are you, really?